quick one here. I'm going to show you this. It's what you call a drum drip. It's on a dry system. It's just an area where when the water, you got a low point on your dry system, you're going to have a low point, and it's going to have this pipe down from that low point to what they call a drum drip. And it's a 1-inch ball valve and another 1-inch ball valve, and you got a 2-inch nipple here with reducers in here. And what this, they call this, is a condensation nipple. So over time, these dry systems, they kind of sweat, and they get, over time, there's a lot of heat and cold on these systems, just creates moisture, and on the low spot, the water will just kind of, whatever water accumulates in the system will go down into this low spot and come down into this condensation nipple and fill up. And you want to regularly maintenance these, especially if you live in a cold area. You want to maintain them more often. If you're living in a semi climate area where it's only cold in 4 months of the year, you might want to do it twice or once, at least once a year, and make sure that there's no condensation in this nipple. Because if this thing's full of water and it's cold out, it's gonna freeze and it's gonna break. I've seen a lot of these break because they don't get maintained. So anyways, when you guys are working on these and you're working on a dry system and you're doing your maintenance and your inspection testing, you want to come over here and check these. Anywhere you find a low point, you want to make sure that you come in and drain these. Now, when you are done doing all your draining and you're getting ready to fill the system up, the proper way to leave these things is this valve stays open, wide open, so that the water can come down and into this condensation nipple. And then this valve here, it stays closed all the time. And then a lot of times what we do is we put a plug in the bottom of this, just in case this valve fails. And you don't want this thing to leak by and keep causing your air compressor to go off often, because you can burn the air compressor up. So it's always a good idea to tape a plug and then put it in here and put it fairly tight. But this valve stays shut, this valve stays open. When you're getting ready to service this and you have air on the system, you come over here and you shut this valve first if there's air in this sprinkler system. Usually when I'm getting ready after it's all set up and done, before I leave, I go and do what's called a blow off to blow any extra moisture out of these drum drips. So you come over here and you want to close this so that you don't get any air pressure in this when you don't want to trip the valve. So you close that first, then you come over and you open up this valve and you let the water out. Once you get it all emptied, then you come over here, shut it, and then go back up to the top one and then open it and let whatever water in until you keep doing that cycle over and over until there's no more water left in the system. And the reason you do that is because you don't want to trip the system by just opening both valves at the same time, or else you're going to end up popping that valve, especially if you're working on an old sprinkler system dry valve, and those things are usually sensitive because of the rubbers are getting old on them. That's, you want to follow this procedure, that way you don't end up tripping the system. So top valve first, lower valve next to drain the water out. Make sure that's closed, and just keep doing the process until you get every bit of water out. It's not always going to be 100%, but you want to try to get the majority of out, and then maybe you let the maintenance guy know in, 3 months, come and do that same procedure. Make sure that there's no more water in it. So, okay, that's the tip on drum drips. And this is code, the way they built it. This is a 1 foot nipple, 2-inch with, 2 valves on each end. Okay, hope that helps, guys.